sick actually. I ask Allah.
I'm setting us up now. Let me turn mine off. Hold on. Let me
Camera.
come here. Okay, I'm off. There, you guys. You guys can start, inshallah.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Sunnah. He's here. And this topic, actually, brothers and sisters, is very important topic for all the Muslims all over the world. Yeah, all over the world. Actually, in non-Muslim world. I mean, America and England, any country is not Muslim. Yeah. Why I would choose this topic also? Brother Muhammad, he born here. He's a Muslim, but he born in America. And he went, of course, school in America, kindergarten, school, high school, university in America. And now he's work with the government. And of course, this topic actually, I mean, even Muslims just came to America, have the same problem. In England, by the way, in Germany, in England, everywhere. Yeah. Alhamdulillah, Islam all over.
All over.
So I have some question for you, inshallah, brother.
Sure.
So that what are you feeling actually? You work with the government right now, unfortunately. And as a Muslim, actually, definitely you have with the police, with this, and you feel some kind of discrimination for sure. Sometimes the color, nationality, and of course you're American.
Yeah.
But at least your father and grandfather.
Yeah.
And how you feel with this kind of hate toward us?
Well, it's funny because
Sit around everyone.
I always forget that part. But we, growing up here, you don't, you don't know how to deal with a lot of that stuff, right? Like our kids don't know how to deal with the bullying, with the discrimination. They don't know how to deal with this kind of stuff, and nobody taught us, right? And growing up here, you're not taught how to deal with this stuff. But as you grow up, you see, you feel, you hate, you start to see the words that they use, the slang, the type of really messed up stuff that they say in high school, middle school. Then you go off to college. You go out, college is a little bit easier because more maturity over there, not as bad as high school. But then you go to the workforce, right? You work in the workforce and you think, okay, I'm in the workforce with these professional people. You think maybe that it's going to be a little bit better, right? Maybe it's going to be easier. But it's, you see the same people that you see in high school who bully you, who say these nasty things, who are in their 20s and 30s and working in the same field or doing the same thing, saying certain things, looking at you a certain type of way. And then when they hear your name, right? Mashallah.
Muhammad.
I know. So us Muslims, mashallah, we name ourselves, we name our children big names, deep names, right? And I think we have to have a talk about how we name our children and how our children need to come up, to understand what their names mean.
Yes.
Right? Because a lot of our times we give these kids these names and they don't know what they stand for.
Yeah.
And so they hear Muhammad coming up in the courthouse or Muhammad on the streets or Muhammad this, and you're like, oh Lord, they're gonna, what are they gonna think? Right. And you hear it too from people who meet you. And, oh, I heard your name was Muhammad, and I was a little nervous when I heard that because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to think. I don't know.
True.
But I do have to say, alhamdulillah, because I'm born here, because I'm raised here, I don't have that accent. Right. I speak fluent English. I speak, I know how to talk to people. I have, you don't have that thick accent like that you guys have.
Yes.
So it's easier for me to
I'll never change. I'm proud of my accent.
Alhamdulillah, we love your accent, but it makes a difference out there.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah. Indeed.
How many times have you seen an imam with a really big accent going and talking to non-Muslims, and it's scary the way they're talking, the anger in their voice or the passion in their voice. We know it's passion, we know it's love, but them
opposite.
It's opposite. Oh my gosh, this guy hates us. This guy.
They hate. Also, the discrimination, like
it's discrimination. It's not hate. It's and the way I tell the kids and the students is it's more like jealousy, right? They're angry with themselves.
Go back. It's very beautiful statement. Jealousy.
It's jealousy.
In fact, the Shaitan in the Jannah with Adam alayhi salam and Hawa alayhi in the Jannah, they get jealous.
They get jealous.
But Allah created them differently.
Mhm. And so you explain these to the kids about jealousy. I talk to the college students. No matter where you're going, in work, doesn't matter where you're working. You can work in a hospital. You can work at a lawyer's office. You can work in law enforcement. You can run your own business. You'll see who your clientele are if you have your own business. Right? If you're a Muslim and you have a tax business, I guarantee you 80% of your customers are going to be who? The Muslims.
Indeed.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
Most likely.
And it's not because we're only advertising ourselves to the Muslims, but because Muslims want to.
So we suppose actually,
We're supposed to.
we suppose actually Muslim buy from Muslim is better. Yeah. But this is what you're going to look at that one. You're facing any kind of problem and hardship in your work.
Back in the days, yes.
In the days.
Back in the days. Now it's a lot more. I think they understand more now. I mean, we have to really think and understand that everything that happens with us, right? All the hate that we have throughout the years, after 9/11, after 2 years ago, all this stuff, all this hate that they kind of keep pushing on the community through their news media, through social media, through all this stuff. I think what happened was people of our generation said, let me turn off the news, let me turn off the social media, let me research myself what these Islamic people are all about. And they research, they learn, they understand, they say, well, I don't find anything about.
But they give you hardship because number one, your name plus your deen, your religion. It's Muslim,
of course, yeah, of course. You know, growing up and working in these fields, you know, you're going to the courthouse and you know, everybody's going to lunch at a certain time. Well, I got to go pray, right? So, okay, I'm not going to pray in front of everybody. Let me go to the back room where I know there's nobody going to be there
and pray.
And, you know, you don't want the whole world watching you pray, right? I mean, we're not supposed to, you know, just pray in the middle of a court.
Indeed,
you know? But then you have that person who accidentally walks into the room or sees something, and that starts the conversation. Well, why are you praying? How many times a day do you pray? What's the point of the prayer? And so they ask you these questions, not because of anger, but because of curiosity.
Oh, actually, you're right. I work with a company as a journalist, and mostly those people, honestly, I never have person with hate, with discrimination. Even it happened September 11. They support me 100%.
But do you know why? Do you understand the difference?
Why? Please give me attention to why. I can see the why. Why?
So the biggest difference, at least in my opinion, is the higher the educated person is, right? The higher, the smarter somebody is.
And honestly, with work,
they're more passionate or they're more knowledgeable, and they're more curious. They want to ask questions, right? They want to know why. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why are they pushing this negativity about this religion? Honestly, just in my own opinion, the higher the level of education somebody has, the less hate and the less animosity, the less ignorance you're gonna have.
I agree with you. In fact, I got hired in this company, by the way, 99% rednecks. 99% rednecks. That means white or no way.
Yeah.
Our brother from India, he worked there Muslim, he's Sayyid. And they hired me. Why? Because of Sayyid, he's a Muslim.
Because of his actions, because of his demeanor, because of the way he's acting.
Brother and sister, listen to this.
One of the things.
Because what?
Because of his actions.
The way he act, honest, sincere, working.
Absolutely.
And when I got hired, I have to be just imitate him.
Absolutely.
And even some people try to imitate, and they come in the resident of the company in the south.
Yeah.
Sayyid, Ibrahim, the best people.
Yeah. I mean, again, we talked about this last time with da'wah without doing da'wah.
Yeah, in
right?
Allah. Again, they read it again.
Da'wah without doing da'wah.
Da'wah without even doing
without
default.
Yeah, without even explaining Islam, without even talking about the deen. Our actions are what makes the people. They know we're honest, right? Because we know that we fear Allah. We don't fear people.
Nah, we fear Allah only.
So we're afraid to lie because we know Allah's watching.
Nah.
Right? We're afraid to cheat. Right? We're afraid to take advantage of a situation. Right? They know.
Yes.
That if they want something to happen the right way, who are you going to ask? A Muslim.
course, a trust person,
A
not
trust- a trustworthy
not just a
person.
trust person.
And that's how it works out for us.
Beautiful. Number 3 here, Sharon, on your work, actually, the environment
Mhm.
and the challenge. Do you think that it decrease your iman, afraid of your Islam, to practice in front of everyone?
You know, I've seen that happen a lot of times within law enforcement. Like within the last 8 years, I've seen people with the name Muhammad who just avoid their deen and just slip away because they don't want to they want to be like everybody else. And a lot of times I feel bad for that person. Like, why are you so afraid of the people when we're supposed to fear Allah? Right? Your name is Muhammad. Like, you can't run away
This
from that.
name.
Yeah, you can't run away from this. But at least in my own experience, in the years that I've been working, it's gotten me closer to my deen.
Allah, you complete opposite that person.
Opposite. I got closer because I wanted to know how to answer these questions for people. Right? I would always say, I don't know. Let me ask first. So I would ask a question.
I like that.
I would get the answer, and I would come back to them. Oh, remember last week you asked me this question? I have the answer for you. So I wanted to learn, so I don't have to wait to get the answers from somebody.
Brother Muhammad, this is very important. Allah said, وَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا. Ask the people of the knowledge if you don't know. He said, he's very sincere. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me ask.
Let me ask.
Brother and sister, very important to ask the people with the knowledge, not Sheikh Google and Sheikh
Yes,
Siri.
absolutely. You're gonna find any answer you want on Google. You're gonna find a sheikh that says drink alcohol, it's okay. You're gonna find a sheikh that says you can have 7 wives. Look at the hadith that says you can have 10 wives. You're gonna find these things. But if you ask your neighborhood imam, your local imam, you should be able to get the proper answers from that person.
This question is very important. The hate of the people, actually hating Muslims, especially in Texas and hating to make you more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
like how?
You see, you have to think intelligent.
Because you work with the government.
You work with the government, or you work in a grocery store, or you work wherever. If you think intelligently, right? Think intelligently, think scientifically, think how you ever want to think. Why do they want the people to hate Muslims?
Why?
Like, why? So when you look at the research, you look at the reading, you say, well, everything about the West is anti-Islam.
Most likely.
The majority.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to show success, you have to have millions of dollars, you have to have very brand new cars, you have to have, that's their definition of success. Well, Islamically speaking, what's our definition of success? The closer you are to your deen, the closer you are to Islam, the closer you are to Allah, that's our definition of success.
Allah. Beautiful. Again, to everyone, please.
And again, it's the definition of our success, the definition of what we believe to be successful compared to what they believe to be successful. Their definition: money, cars, stuff, just materialistic stuff. Islamic definition of success: the closer you are to your deen, the closer you are to Allah.
Close to Allah.
That's why they want to hate so much on us.
I love that statement. Yeah, Jazakallah khair. Yeah, very beautiful. Okay. Now, how to, very important, because a lot of people working and it's hard for them to go and pray.
Yeah.
Then how to keep your salah on time 5 times, and especially if you have some people against you somewhere. If you go speak about yourself and about the others listening to us.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges when it comes to working. Depends on your type of work. Right, if you're a doctor and you have to work the shift that's covered that for Dhuhr, Asr, and Maghrib, you can't pray. As a doctor, you find your ways to make it prayer. Right, you go into an empty room, or you go into a closet. There's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the whole earth to pray on.
Yeah.
Right, you don't have to go to a masjid if you have things going on. Sometimes, at least for myself, before I got into the position I'm in now, I would be having to find a quiet place. Quiet place, away from everybody else.
So wait for Dhuhr and Asr, then Maghrib.
Sometimes Maghrib.
Yeah.
And then you just do it. Right? You don't, and then the moment, like for me, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. If I got caught praying And during work hours, they would say, well, what were you doing for those 20 minutes? Well, I was just making a quick prayer, but and then, so it's done, it's over. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take comment. Well, praying, when you say it in that sense of that way, oh, you're praying. Well, who's going to get mad at you for praying?
No one.
Nobody can really say.
I work with non-Muslim.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
My only biggest issue is with when I had a problem with the kids in school, and this is years ago, where the kids in the high school were coming to me saying, brother, we're trying to pray in the school, and they're making a big deal. And so when I went to the meeting and talked to the principal, the assistant principal, the counselor, and the students, the biggest issue they had was we don't care if they pray, but why do they have to pray in the cafeteria while everybody's eating lunch? I said, okay, now it makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, now, and I had to tell the kids, we don't just go in the middle of the cafeteria and pray.
Yeah.
That's not what we do. We go into a room, we find it, and then the school was very accommodating.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
They said, here, take this.
But in your work in a non-Muslim country, a place, workshop, a place, how to ask? Because me myself, I ask.
Of course, yeah.
And they know exactly the time of Dhuhr and Asr. They know that, and they know I'm Imam.
Yeah.
But they respect that, even in Ramadan.
Yeah, the people
but
respect.
Some people about the hate now.
Yeah.
Then some people, how to deal with this, Brother Muhammad?
It's very difficult. You have to know.
Oh.
You have to know your supervisors. You have to know who's in charge of you.
Good.
You have to know. For me, it's always build up that reputation. Right, our reputation in Islam is number one, right? Like at least my father always taught me, like your reputation is everything, right? You have to have people know you as a trustworthy person, as an honest person, and that's kind of what I grew up with, right? We grew up with that understanding of your reputation says everything about you.
Indeed.
To the people that don't even know you, because when they ask about you, they're gonna hear things about you. So if you're working and you've worked there for 3 or 4 months, they should have a good idea of what kind of person you are.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you.
3 or 4 months of working. Okay, listen, I have a question, boss. You go to your boss. I have a question. I'm a Muslim. Sometimes I have to go pray at certain times between 12:30 and 1:30. Is it okay? It's only 10 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5-10 minutes. That's it. Just like everybody else going to go to smoke break.
Exactly.
It's a smoke break. It's a bathroom break. It's just me going to make prayer.
Indeed.
Right, and you'll see the people. Okay, go ahead, man. 5 minutes.
Definitely, you have unless somebody aggressive, then he don't want you.
That means it doesn't want. Do you want it? And then you ask yourself, do I want to work in a place like this?
Exactly. I mean, some people, because a lot of people, Muhammad, but the money, the family, this, they make excuses.
There's always even I know people I love to death, and they make excuses why I can't come to the masjid on Fridays.
What?
Yeah. Oh, I have to work. Well, brother, I have to work. We all have to work. We'll come to the masjid.
Oh my God! I don't want to speak about that.
I know.
I don't want to speak about
that's a whole different lecture, inshallah.
Okay. Sometimes actually, you are the only one. You have Muslims in with you working.
Not in my unit,
but there is. But now in your unit, only the Muslims there came, and whoever surrounding you, you feel some kind of feeling different because you are the only Muslim, the only one who pray, and you have Christian, Jews, Buddhists, and all colors,
everything.
But at the same time, you are unique.
Yeah, and when I feel it the most is the holidays. Right, when the Christmas comes, when the Hanukkahs come, when the Thanksgiving comes, and all these holidays come through, and I have to always remind people, hey, sorry, I'm a Muslim. I don't do these kinds of things. Or when you first start your job or your first employment, and they start to say, hey, we're gonna go out for drinks, after work. And I'm sorry, I don't go out for drink. I never say I'm a Muslim, I don't drink. I just say, no, I don't drink, I don't drink. I love my body too much. I make jokes and then after weeks and months, they start asking you, well, why don't you drink? Well, what's the first question that they ask you when you go to the doctor's office? Do they drink or smoke?
Yes.
Right? That's the first question.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm not messing up my liver, my kidneys. You say these things to them, and then they start to see the other actions that you're taking, little by little by little by little, right? And they start to say, okay, this guy is honest. He doesn't. I'm not preaching Islam. I'm not saying you need to be a Muslim. You need to be a Muslim. No, I'm not saying anything like this. I'm not bringing the Quran and saying, let me show you what the Quran says about this. I'm just showing my action.
Yeah.
Right. The same things I tell the kids. our actions speak louder than the words. And like you said, they wanted you to come work because of your,
My friend,
because you're your friend.
the best employee.
And he's not going around speaking hadith and talking
Without even interview. Imagine,
Yeah.
yes, I give a resume,
Mhm.
and you are hired.
because
Not fired,
because of what
hired.
he did.
I say hired, no interview.
Yeah.
I say what? I say Sayyid work with us, and we trust you.
Exactly.
I got the job. Alab,
Mhm.
alab. Why? Because one Muslim, very sincere.
That's it.
Subhanallah.
That's all it takes.
And how I met him, we make a master degree.
Mhm.
I pray Maghrib, and somebody next to me, and I don't know he's a Muslim.
Networking in Salah.
Exactly.
That much love.
That means we should not be afraid.
No, don't ever be afraid.
Brother and sister, number one, Salah for every Muslim.
Ever.
And some people, when I work,
Mhm.
some people, and they're completely wrong here, before I
Mhm.
say what, they make it Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha together.
Mhm.
Allah Azza, Surah 1, Allah said, Wailul Musallin, woe for the people who pray, الذين عن صلاتهم ساهون. The ones who forget the Salah, not to pray.
Mhm.
Because he's not a prayer, he's not a Muslim.
Well, it's funny because we have a lot of people who think they can trick their way with their salahs
To Allah.
to Allah, and you ask yourself, can you really trick Allah? Like Allah knows your heart, Allah knows your brain,
Allah created your heart.
Allah knows everything that's going on. Why?
Yeah.
I think you can trick people.
This is a very important topic here. What is the most hard situation having facing you in your work? The most hardship at one moment facing you are a Muslim, but at work.
It's a hard question because there's a lot that goes on in the different types of things that I've done in my careers,
Mhm.
right? And a different type of career, and the same career but different units, different types of kids I worked with, juveniles I've worked with, adults I've worked with, elderly I've worked with. And I think one of the biggest things for me was like in the jails.
In the gym.
And, when you work in the jails, there's a level of expectations of how you're supposed to treat the people that are in there, right? You have to be rough, you have to be mean, you have to be aggressive, you have to be, you can't show weakness, you can't be nice, you have to be a certain type of person. You have to have that certain type of character. And all the years I've done it, I was never able to be like that. Never be able to be aggressive, mean, to the point where these guys were, the guys that I was working with, how they were so aggressive, how they were so, especially when I was working the juveniles with the juvies, and I see how they would be so aggressive with these kids and manhandle and flip and just throw them in their cells. And I would never be I would never be able to be that kind of person to be like that. Not, maybe it's because I'm a Muslim, maybe it's because I was the way I was raised, maybe it was because of the way I was brought up. I don't know. But I like to say it's because Islam teaches us how to really handle like the situations that people were in. And I was always able to maintain a positive shifts. My 7 to 3, 3 to 11 shifts, all the shifts that I've done in the jails have always been cleared. There's never been any red flags. There's never been any aggression. And I was always able to just talk and give some respect
and advice
and advice to the inmates and talk to them. And the whole time I would be and read my shift, there'd be no issues.
There's a question about the prisons, because I see a lot of Muslims in the prison. Some people with drugs, some people with crime, many. To see the difference between in the prison now, between Muslims and non-Muslim in the prison, and especially with those who have addicted to drugs in the prison.
So,
like a Muslim and non-Muslim.
So when you look at in the jails, and
that's a question.
Working with Muslims and non-Muslim inmates dealing with drug addiction.
Yes.
When you look at the way, because a lot of people say they convert to Islam when they're in jail, right? There's a lot of conversions in Islam.
Yes.
Every 2 months or so, I get a text message saying, "Can you bring all these books to jail? And I need these books." And they'll send me a text message with all the books that they want. We need Qur'ans, Islamic lessons, all this stuff, because the jail they pass them out and they're given out to the inmates. And what I've noticed is the people who revert to Islam, right? They read about Islam and they take their shahadas. They feel more like they're what's the word I'm looking for? Like relaxed, more. It's such a cool thing to witness. Like you see the person being super aggressive, being really mean, really angry, and then you talk to that person for a little bit. You give them, well, how are you so calm, Mohammed? You work in the jail with us, and don't you feel like you're in jail? Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm in jail with you guys because I'm working with you guys. You know, I see the same four walls they see. I see the same bars. I smell the same smells. Yes, I do sometimes feel like I'm in the jail with you guys. Well, how do you stay so calm? Well, I mean, at the end of the day, God knows it's in my heart, and I'm trying to fix the world one person at a time, right? You have these conversations, and then they want to learn. I don't bring anything about Deen. I never brought anything about Islam. It was just my demeanor, the way I spoke to them, the way we discussed things, the way they were open, they were always easy to talk to me. Right.
I mean, in the prison, of course, you Muslims and non-Muslims.
Of course, yeah.
And you just told me a beautiful thing. A lot of people convert to Islam.
Mm-hmm.
Mohammed the boxer, Mohammed Clay, Mohammed Ali, and the one who just passed away, was that him? Many people died.
Yeah, many people.
Lamin, yes, become more calm, and more intelligent.
Absolutely. That's what I say. Like, intelligence increases right? As you read, as you learn, as you understand. Because what I try to tell everybody is, Islam has everything laid out for you. Right? It has everything laid out for you: how to raise your kid, how to get married, how to do business, how to live your life. Right? So when you take that and you have all the time in the world, when you're in jail, you have time. Right?
Yes,
you have nothing but time. So you read, you analyze, you understand. And so you provide them with the materials, and they start to learn, and they start to understand, and you see a big shift in their aggression, in their addiction. Even with addiction, they come back to me and they say, "Do you know how God stopped alcohol usage and back in the days, and how the Prophet one step at a time,
stages."
Yeah, I said, well, that's how we do it here now, right? We talk about slowly getting off. We don't just stop using, slowly but slowly, little by little. That's what they're learning when they read the Islamic knowledge, when they start to read the Quran. And so you start to see a sense of like, okay, let me take my life more seriously. And they start to change. You slowly start to see them change their mindsets, change the way they're acting. And then you see the way they interact with each other, and it's a totally different vibe when they start to learn, And then you get the ones who have it, who want it, but they still fight it. They still fight against Islam. They say, well, I heard on TV that you guys Sharia law, Sharia. And I said, well, do you know what Sharia law is? Let me get you a book on Sharia law. So before you judge what the news says.
Yeah, that Fox News and the social Sharia, if we understand the Sharia, truly Sharia, the best, what Sharia, adil, justice, the Islamic justice. SubhanAllah, Wallah, very beautiful, Brother Muhammad. You see a lot of like prisoners actually got when you speak with them, become impact, and they become positive more.
So when you the question about like if dealing with non-Muslims, not just inmates but in general.
In general, yes. Right? Oh, now prison,
and you see how they interact with the other guards, how they interact with the other employees and the workers compared to how they would interact with me. Right? They know there's a certain respect that I have
because you are a Muslim,
not just because I'm Muslim, but because of how I deal with it, how I deal with them. I set boundaries, right? The way I tell the girls, the way I tell the little boys is that I set a boundary around myself. I'm going to give you respect. You respect me back. And then you see the way we talk, the way we interact. They have so much more respect. They talk so much more softer. They're not aggressive. And then when you see them the way they talk with the other guys on the shift, you see them cursing. You see them, disrespecting. You see it, and you're just like. And then I remember I would look at that inmate as he's disrespecting the other guy, and he would look at me and he said, he would kind of get embarrassed.
Shy.
Oh man, Mr. Muhammad's here, Officer Muhammad, Muhammad's here. And I'm sorry, Muhammad. I'm sorry, Mr. Muhammad. I'm sorry, Mr. You would get those reactions from the non-Muslims, not from the Muslims. The non-Muslims.
But now, this is a question here. when you are you are Muslim,
Mhm.
and they know the inmate, the prisoner, they know you are Muslim,
Mhm.
and they have all nationalities
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
And how you deal with how it affecting you and them in the same time, and impact.
At least from my, like, again, my experience, everybody's experience is different, right?
Oh.
There's a lot of Muslims that work in jails and prisons.
Really?
They work there, but they're not. I've seen some who are not really proud of it, like, or they try to shy away from, letting people know that they're Muslim. Well, your name is Omar, your name is Khalid. You can't really hide that you're a Muslim when you have that kind of a name, right?
Oh, some people
They don't.
Shame.
It's a shame, and it's maybe it's the way they were brought up, maybe it was the way they were raised.
Yeah, Allah.
But for me, at least, I was never shy about it. So whenever somebody would meet me as Muhammad, they knew immediately. They would know I'm a Muslim. But it wasn't as if I said, "Let me talk to you about the Quran." It was, "Okay, how can I help you?" Right? Let's talk about what's going on and what happened yesterday when I wasn't here and you got in a fight with the other inmate. Let's talk about what happened. Well, and they would tell me everything. And then they would leave the office, or they would leave the meeting and say, "That was the first time I'm able to talk to anybody."
Ya Allah.
And it has nothing to do with me being a Muslim. They don't care. They don't even know that I'm a Muslim. But they would say, "Well, I'll wait till Muhammad comes. I'll wait till Mr. Muhammad comes, and I'll talk to Mr. Muhammad," because they knew that I gave them an opportunity to talk.
Yes. Yeah.
While the other guys, as non-Muslims or just in general, don't give them that opportunity.
A lot of prisoners actually, we're talking about Muslims here,
Mhm.
and they become completely astray.
Mhm.
No salah, but they are Muslims.
Yeah.
We know they are Muslim, but not practicing, especially when in the prison.
Yeah.
Try to imitate everybody and be a warrior, strong,
Yeah.
and they become completely astray from Islam. How do you deal with this?
It's funny.
But both of you are Muslim.
Yeah. And what amazes me is, this question brought up a memory of when I was in back in the days in jails, and I would work, and I knew that this guy was a Muslim. I knew his name. I got his file. I saw everything. And I would ask, "Man, are you a Muslim? This is a Muslim name. Are you a Muslim?" He's like, yeah, but
But
that word, but what? Well, I can't be a Muslim if I'm in jail, because I messed up. So, okay, well, let's talk about that, my man. Let's talk about this, man. How do you mean you messed up so you can't be a Muslim anymore? Did you know that Allah's all forgiving? Like, we forgive, and your charges aren't really like bad. You've done, you had drugs and stuff. It's not really murder or anything, too bad. And as the weeks went by, slowly, I would see him, I'd watch him, and he's trying to fit in. He's in the gym, he's working out, he's playing basketball, he's cursing, he's yelling, he's screaming. He's trying to be the tough guy, And after a couple of weeks, maybe about a month or so, I went up and I said, "Hey, come here, man. Let me talk to you. Are you now ready to show people that you're a Muslim?" "No, man, that's not gonna work in jail." I said,
Wow.
I said, "It might be the opposite. You don't know until you try." I said, "You're trying to be like everybody else. Us Muslims, we're not like everybody else.
At risk.
We're better than that."
Yeah.
Right. And then I kind of just brushed it off. I said, "Look, I can't keep pushing this guy as a Muslim,
Of course,
and my job and everything." So I kind of just, "Okay, man, good luck with everything. If you ever need anything, I have the books in my office. You're more than welcome to take some books." And it was a couple weeks later, comes in the office, sees the book, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna take this book real quick. I'll be right back, Brother Muhammad. I'll give it to you." I said, "Okay, Brother Muhammad." That was my first notion that, okay, he's slowly starting to understand what's going on. And as the weeks went by, as slowly but surely, "Can you get me a prayer rug? Is there any way I could get a prayer rug? I want to try it out a little bit. I want to see." And you start to see slowly he was shifting back
to Allah.
Oh. And I said, "You have nothing but time."
I like that.
Or you have nothing but time. You're in jail. What are you gonna do? You don't have to go to work. You don't have to no kids to take care of. Read your book. Read your book and get closer. And he was telling me stuff that he learned in the Quran.
Mm.
So it does, being, like I said, in jail or not in jail, in schools, in work, it's always you as a Muslim, you have to be proud of yourself, right? Have that confidence in being a Muslim. And that guy was a prime example of he was very embarrassed. He was very shy. He didn't want to be labeled
Yeah, Allah.
as anything.
They like that.
And Anthony, you can't run away from your name. I can't run away from my name. People know Muhammad. They know
He's a Muslim,
he's a Muslim.
by default.
By default, they hear Imad, they hear Rashid, they hear. SubhanAllah.
But now we're going over the dawah, fixing the dawah now. And the way you deal with the dawah in the prison, as a Muslim, always, mashallah, Quran and Sunnah, always in the masjid, especially Salat al-Jum'ah, you always come to Salat al-Jum'ah. So, do you see any kind of Muslim actually not, we mentioned that before, a lot of Muslims not even come from Salat al-Jum'ah. Okay, of course, I'm not going to, I cannot say he's a kafir, because maybe he prayed, he's not kafir. But of course, how to affect those people, at least you as an official, to talk to people, I needed to go back to Allah, to come for Salat al-Jum'ah, especially.
It's very hard.
Really?
It's very, very hard.
Wow.
Because these people have excuses.
Excuses.
They have excuses upon excuses upon excuses why they can't make the salah. And
salah is a different story.
Yeah. Well, and Friday prayer again, I tell them, you know, if people want to go to church on Sundays, they go to church on Sundays. If they want to go to their temple on Saturday,
Saturdays off.
They go on Saturday.
Saturdays off.
But the majority of the jobs that we have out here will give you the time to go to the mosque legally, and just a lot of people know. People will respect that, right?
If they worry about, I believe, if they worry about the Salat al-Jum'ah especially, they do the best of the best.
Absolutely, and it's when you ask them, hey, I know I don't see you, or we work in the same field, we're doing the same thing. How come I can make the salah and you cannot? Do you need a ride? What's the issue with you not being able to come? And subhanAllah, here we have masjids and salah and musallas everywhere. So it's not like
the masjid musalla.
You know, you go to this musalla if you can't make it to the masjid. You have
you have a plaza, the Salam, and
absolutely.
The people with the food. The mall is a
musalla.
SubhanAllah. I went to my wife and I went to Malaysia. My wife, every restaurant, every building, all musalla. The best, of course,
it's a Muslim country.
Yeah, Muslim country. Now, advices. Go to the advices in the area.
What number is this?
Go to the page back and forth. Some advices. Say, advice for what your advice for the youth, especially the who live in America here and facing hardship and calamity. I'm talking about youth.
Yeah, with the Islamophobic and
exactly. And especially now what government in Venezuela and this and that hardship every day we have.
Every day.
And some people in Texas and here mocking the Islam, they want Islam. Of course, those people failure anyway. But my point, our youth, I'm thinking about America here. I don't know about England here. There maybe the same.
Maybe.
But what about here? How do we need an advice from you as official for those kids? May Allah guide and bless our kids.
You know, we've had these issues in the last couple of months where the kids would be praying, people come out and they record it on Instagram. They do these things to pressure our kids and our youth to get away from Islam, right? And these people that are doing all these things, the people that are being so aggressive, they claim themselves to be Christians or Jesus lovers and all this stuff. That's what they're claiming to be. And one of the things I tell the youth is that if you're gonna do an event at a beach or in a parking garage or at a park, and you're gonna have a picnic, and you're gonna have a picnic from the hours of 11 till 5. That means you're going to pray. There's going to be a time of the time that you're all there at the picnic. You're going to pray. Record. Have cameras up and about. Right. Record your salah. You want to have a recording of the incident that if something does happen, just in case. Right. Remember back in the days when we were driving, we didn't have cameras in our cars.
Yes.
Right now, I tell my daughter, hey, put a camera in your car. If something happens, that camera is going to tell the insurance and law enforcement whose fault was it, right? Because it's going to be my word and your word. The camera doesn't lie,
text this camera, text it to me to put it on my car.
any camera.
Yeah.
But I tell people, put cameras up when you're gonna go pray, or have somebody sitting down who's not gonna pray, and just make sure they're recording the salah. And that way, if somebody does come after you guys, you have a witness, you have it recorded, and you're good to go. Now you're safe. And if that does happen, and I tell them that's going to happen, you know, it's not about if it happens, it's going to be when it happens, right? Because we have so much hate right now, and it's not from people who are ignorant, who are like really just stupid people. They're people that know what they're doing because they're getting paid to do what to do. They do this and they do this, they do this. They think, okay, I'm going to take these kids away from Islam. I'm going to get these kids away from their religion. So as a Muslim youth, I tell these guys, really understand that if they're pushing so hard to get you away from it, what does that tell you? Why would they try to get you away from something like Islam? Because they know it's right. Because they know it's good. They want you
to leave.
They want you to drink. They want you to go to parties. They want you to be busy with all these distractions of this life. So you're not focusing on the next life. If you hear what some of these people say behind the closed doors, the people that do these Islamophobic stuff, their main purpose to do these things, right? Their whole main purpose is to get people to watch the views on social media, right? They want to make sure that they get everybody all excited. They want the comments, because if you watch a video, you get paid. If you comment on the video, it gets viewed more. Right. So there's like an algorithm and all this kind of stuff. If you like the video, it gets sent out to everybody else. So more people will
even hate.
Oh yeah, you put a comment that you hate this, or I can't believe they did this. Why are they being like this? That's interaction. You're interacting with that video. And I tell people, don't interact on these videos. Don't comment. Don't like. Don't follow. Because if you interact with that kind of video, that's going to get posted more and more and more and more and more, and those people are going to get paid more for doing it.
Yeah. In fact, when you pray Salat al-Fajr, the Nova University student, the one leading the prayer is my nephew.
MashaAllah.
And he made khutbah al-Jum'ah last week
MashaAllah.
in my masjid. My point, brother, we need good, online advice for those people. Camera is beautiful.
Camera's good.
And also to be brave.
Be brave.
Not to fight.
No. And that's the other thing I will say to everybody is don't go back and forth.
Okay.
Don't do the back and forth.
Again.
Don't go back and forth with these people. Don't have a conversation with them. Let them do what they gotta do. Let them say what they gotta say.
I like that.
Record everything they're saying, and I guarantee you, within 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes, they're gonna leave because they're not getting that.
The kids did the same, alhamdulillah. Yeah. But actually, when they're sharing what happened, some kids get very frustrated.
Yeah,
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But in the same time, especially we live in non-Muslim country, we have to speak, number one, the law.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I will say, please, and this is law, something for the law, in regards to the law, don't hit. I don't care if you're an MMA fighter. And
they are, mashallah, fighters.
Yeah, mashallah.
That they refuse.
Us Muslims, we're fighters. We're all ready to fight, right? For at any moment, you mess with my family, blah blah blah, whatever. I'm ready to fight. But when somebody's coming at you with all these words and they're yelling and they're cursing and they're spitting and they're doing whatever they got to do, you're recording and you're staying quiet.
Yes, it's the best da'wah.
It's the best da'wah.
Yeah,
and you'll start to see, and this is what some things I've always done is I read the comments and I see the comments saying, "Wow, those 10 kids are so patient."
Yes.
You know, you see the level of
you
see that level of patience. And even when you take these videos to the law enforcement, you take them to the attorneys, you take them to the district attorney, you take them to the hate crimes task force, you show them these videos, they'll come and say, "Mohammed, how are these kids being so quiet? How are these kids being so patient with these people? I want to go knock that guy out."
Yes, a lot of people. If me, for example, I might do that.
You might do that.
My kids, for sure.
Yeah. But again, we're not supposed to.
I agree.
You know, unless they go for it first.
Yes.
Then you're allowed to defend yourself.
Self-defense.
Yeah, you're allowed to self-defense. But don't let them talk. Yeah. Let them yell. Let them scream. Let them spit. Let them say whatever they want to say. You're just keeping your mouth shut. And those kids, when I saw those videos, I was so glad.
Yeah, I agree with you. Alhamdulillah, they're excellent job. Alhamdulillah. Now, brother, already what time we have 15 minutes. Yeah, alhamdulillah, have time. We need that advice from the kids. What about the parents sometimes have two type of parents.
Mhm.
For example, me, I'm not blazing here. I will tell my son, he will come, do that.
Yeah,
That's me,
that's you.
for example.
Yeah.
But also some people, complete opposite of me.
Mhm.
We need advice now for the parents, something like this.
Mhm.
Not, because the parents normally get very worried about their kids.
And this goes to not just Muslims in the West and Muslims in different and non-Muslim countries, but this is for all the Muslims, all of us. As parents, we have to start to teach our kids, number one, how to have patience, right? How to deal.
That's hard.
It's very hard, but it's also, you have to start it as quickly as you can,
I agree.
right? You have to understand something, that patience, we're not just born, it has to be learned,
Yes.
right? And I've noticed even local, close people to me who started getting closer to their deen, I saw their level of patience change from being mad all the time quick to like, okay, let me just take a couple of steps back. Let me see, let me hear, let me think before I act, right? And teaching our kids how to think before you act is a huge thing that I think that we kind of slack in.
And there's a theory for that.
There's a theory for that, but we as Muslims, we have to understand that if you're in a non-Muslim country, the laws don't go in our favor.
No.
Right? We can, if we did the same thing and we go into a prayer room at a church and we started doing the same thing they did to us, what would happen? We'd be in jail.
Yeah.
We'd be locked up in 2 seconds. They would
never pray again.
And you never, So like we have to understand that stuff doesn't work for us. Because I see a lot of Muslim kids would say, I'm going to do the same thing to them. I'm going to go in their church and I'm going to start yelling and screaming that they're Jesus. And I said, no. We don't do that.
We love Jesus more than anyone else. And his mom, Maryam.
We don't say these things. We don't do these things because there's a reason for that. Especially not just Islamically speaking, it's haram. But because if we do the same things they did to us, we'd get in more trouble.
Allah said, do not insult the people who insulted you.
Absolutely.
Allah said that. Not me and you.
And that's an Islamic law. But we have to teach them these things. As parents, it's really hard to teach our kids patience, teach our kids pride. Right? Have pride, have confidence. Teach your kids to be okay with being a Muslim. Don't hide.
Yeah. Actually, brothers, since September 11, become the Islam target number one in the country, not in America, in the whole
world,
non-Muslim world, even the Muslim world. Well, they accuse, the one he did it, September 11, they are Muslims. But I doubt they are Muslim who do something like this. But in the same time, even mind, they try to with a machine gun, 2 guys try to kill me after September 11. A lot of changes here, brother. But what do you think? And now every day, especially every new president, Islam, Iraq, Afghanistan, in Yemen. But we completely innocent of this kind of crimes.
And what's funny is
what's your opinion here? Number one, and how to fix this in our society in America.
What's amazing to me is that it's 2026, right? We just became 2026, and we're still having these conversations that the media and all these people up on top are talking so bad about Islam, and that's what we see, right? Because they post it out, so they show so hard, but behind the scenes, behind the cameras, you see so many people taking the shahadas.
Indeed.
Right? So many people behind the scenes. They're not advertising. Because that's what we do as Muslims. We don't advertise. Right? We don't do what they're doing.
Islam will come to us.
Exactly. And so when they say, oh, Islam was, spread through the sword. If you don't become a Muslim, they're going to kill you. That's how they did it back in the days. Is that really what's happening right now? It never happened. But that's what's happening right now. People with the news and with the people up on top, presidents and congressmen, what their dumb stuff is doing is they're making people get closer to the deen. All the hate that they're spewing, all the angry.
Every masajid now, every day.
You see this, and we see this. I found out yesterday or today. There's so many Muslims in Kansas.
Kansas.
I didn't know they have a big Muslim.
Kansas.
Kansas. I know. I found out in Utah. They have Muslims in Utah. I don't know these things. I'm learning these things. And I said, well, how are these people converting? But nobody's knowing because we don't advertise that. And they're afraid, and I keep telling people, they're afraid that if more people convert to Islam, a lot of their income, a lot of the way that they make their money is going to go down.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. And so it's a fear that everybody has. So we as Muslims have to understand that we're different than everybody else.
That advice here, brother, very important.
Mm.
We are Muslim, alhamdulillah. We are a lot of number of Muslim in America.
Mhm.
You mentioned this before. I mean, we should always in touch with the police
Absolutely.
in the your city.
Absolutely.
In your city.
Yeah.
How? Okay. Now, advice for watching us in America here.
Mhm.
In America here, what we should do and why? Number one, to be involved with the police. To the police involved in our life, and we think the police is spying on us because exactly why we deal with the police. The police spying on us.
So it's funny.
Please,
people, we think law enforcement is going to keep spying on us.
Yes.
Or we think the FBI or everything. Listen, maybe they are doing it, but our phones are always on.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter who's spying on us because the phone is always on. They're always, whether it's Google or whoever, they're always watching, listening, and hearing everything that's going on. You can't stop that unless you.
No, hold on. Go back.
Mhm.
Go back. The phone. What?
The phone is always on.
I mean, as far as our cell phone on, that means the whole world.
The whole whoever wants to listen to your conversations is listening to it anyway. They're listening to us right now.
It's not only the police,
It's not only the
FBI or CIA.
It's Google, it's Amazon, it's Groupon, it's whatever app you have on your phones. TikTok is listening to you, Instagram is listening to you,
Okay,
Facebook is listening to you.
That means if you understand that, but how encourage the masajid, the organization, the centers to be involved with the police?
So
because the police, what's the job?
Yeah. So so understanding first that your phone is always on, and it's not just police listening or FBI listening; it's everybody listening. Throw that out the window. That's not an excuse anymore.
I love that. I mean, you regard it as far as you're straight.
Yeah. As long as you're fine. And that the majority of the law enforcement officers will want to learn about the people in their community.
I like that.
So when I bring them to the masjids, I bring them to the masjids for a reason, right? Not just to eat food and get a free meal.
Oh, go back. You bring your police official come to the masjid.
Yeah, of course.
Why?
To learn.
For the police to learn about Islam.
About Islam. Not about Islam, about us.
About us.
About us.
I like that.
Let them see, because a lot of these guys, they don't know. They only know what they've seen on TV.
Yes.
They only know what their friends have taught them. Or maybe that friend met a bad Muslim, or they know only Muslims that own convenience stores and sell liquor. Right? That's the majority of the Muslims in America. They do these things, right?
South America. Florida only.
In Florida, yeah.
I didn't know about that.
In Florida, Ohio, they own. So bring them into the masjid and let them see how you are. Let them see how we interact with our children. Let them see. It took 2 times for me to bring the deputies and the people to the masjid, for the 1 or 2 deputies to learn that we actually believe in Jesus.
Jesus is Palestinian, by the way. Jesus is Palestinian. Mary is Palestinian, born in Jerusalem.
And they don't know. They thought, we thought you prayed to Muhammad. Oh, okay. Like you bring the people to your masjid to learn about you, to understand you, and you show them who you are.
Yeah, I like that. See, very important, brother and sister.
And it is very important, because at the end of the day, let's say we have something that happens to us at the masjid, right? We have a hate crime. Somebody comes and sprays Islamophobic stuff on our walls, or somebody threatens the masjid. You want your law enforcement officers to know where to go.
That means you advise the people in the masjid now, in different masjid here and there, for whoever refuse to deal with the police. This man is a board member, he should be removed.
I don't think it should be removed, but I think that having one person in control of everything is not a good thing, right? And for us, we're supposed to have we're supposed to have a votes and do certain things voting wise. If you're not bringing your law, let me just say this: I don't know about board members. I don't understand some of the board members and the way they think, because I've sat on boards and I've listened to the way the board members think. Oh, if you bring the law enforcement here, they're going to bring the FBI. They're going to bring. Okay, so what?
Exactly.
So what?
Yeah.
What happened in New York City after September 11th when they were doing all the spying on the Muslims. All the people that were spying on the Muslims, the majority of them became Muslims.
Yeah.
And then they had to stop the program because people are becoming Muslims too fast. So your thought process is, don't bring them in because you don't want them to spy on us when we have nothing to hide.
Unless if he do something wrong.
Unless you're doing something wrong. If you're doing something wrong, then it's
I like
different.
that. Okay.
And, you know, if you're doing something wrong and you don't want people to find out, then don't bring it to the masjid. Right? The masjid is there for a place of worship.
For ibadah, yes.
For ibadah, for da'wah. And so what I've noticed is, even for, like, when I brought them in, the photographer who was taking pictures, he looked at the wall and saw the books, and he pulled up a book and said, "Oh, you guys believe Jesus as a prophet?" And he picked up the book and he said, I didn't know these things about you guys.
Yes.
Well, that's why I bring you to the masjid. Let me talk to the imam. Don't talk to me.
One of the reporter TV interview, and I give her also about Jesus. I believe in Jesus. I believe, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
And his mom too.
And his mom too. We have a whole chapter, right? But but you're not going to be able to have these conversations.
Yeah, I like that.
These types of conversations with law enforcement officers or with politicians, right? Nobody likes politicians. Right? I don't like politicians. I said that to politicians.
Yeah.
But if you're not allowing them to come into your house, into the place of worship, into the masjids, they're never going to learn about us. They're never going to understand who we are. And what's amazing to me is a lot of the people that I bring to the masjid, when they see the kids running around, when they see the young kid giving the older guy the food, when they see these things, they say, "Oh, this is crazy, Mohammed. I never knew that you guys were like this. I never understood that you guys cared so much about your elderly. I never understood that you guys really have they say that you guys have such a family vibe when you're at your masjid. We love coming to this masjid." And after a couple of times I brought them there, they started going by themselves.
Allah.
You know, the people in the masjid would call them. "Hey, we're doing this event. Do you want to come through? Hey, I know you're going to be working the day shift, and we're going to have an event with a barbecue. Please come through and get some barbecue." And the deputies would come in and stop by. Not me. I was not there. But they would do themselves. The members of that masjid would invite them over themselves. Come in and grab some free food.
I mean, you encourage every masjid to do that.
I do. We have nothing to hide.
I like that. We should not hide anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. We alhamdulillah are Muslims. We pray, we fast. Ramadan coming soon, inshallah. So, brother, don't worry. Leave it to Allah. Allah يقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه. Allah said, ومن يتق الله, whoever fear Allah, ومن يتق الله يجعل له every exit, hardship, calamity, Allah make exit. ومن يتوكل على الله and ويتق الله يجعل مخرجا ويرزقه, Allah provide him resources cannot even imagine. ومن يتوكل, whoever depend in Allah, only Allah is the best one to support you. Brother and sister Ibrahim, I would love to speak more and more.
Let me just say real quick, because
I need advice. Yes,
we do have Ramadan coming up, and I think that's probably like going to be, a good start for a lot of the masjids that don't do these things.
Again, advice for the masajid here.
For the masajid, any country that you're in, whether it's a Muslim country, a half a Muslim country, or a non-Muslim country, use Ramadan as your springboard to bring people into your masjid.
Oh, I love that.
So you're doing iftar dinners. What the big deal if you make a phone call to your local law enforcement officers, the chief of police, the sheriff, or whoever is in your
church, the synagogue.
Invite them to come to your masjid for an iftar dinner.
Yes.
And you don't, if you're good Muslims, you don't have to tell your members of the masjid, "Hey, be good Muslims. I'm bringing people in." No, they're going to be good Muslims anyway.
Supposed to be.
Inshallah. Inshallah. But use Ramadan. And this is what I do every Ramadan. I do these things where I bring law enforcement to different masjids. Right?
Okay, please, very important advice here.
And I bring them into different masjids, not just so they can see how the Muslims are, but they can also see the different cultures. Right? You have different cultures in different masjids. We have the masjid that have the Palestinian food. You have the masjid that has the Pakistani food. But they all say the same thing to me. You guys do the same prayer. Yeah, we're Muslims.
We are united.
We're united, but we have different foods. We have different tastes.
Especially in Ramadan.
We have the same books.
Yeah.
In our masjids. We have the same. We pray the same way. We put our head to the ground, and then on top of that, if you're not doing this, if you're not using this as your springboard, if you're not starting this, you're losing a whole lot of people that can back you up when
Yes.
things go bad. Because we, as our Muslims, we have a reputation, right? Our reputation, at least down here, is that we get a lot of hate, but we don't like to report it,
Yeah.
right? We always say, "Oh, Allah's gonna, Allah deal with them." But no, we as Muslims have to be the ones to also report these hate crimes. If somebody's coming and making a phone call to your message and threatening you, or coming to your message and yelling at the woman, or doing anything haram to you, or doing anything bad to you, you have laws that you use, and you can't really know how to use those laws if you're not getting with your law enforcement officers, if you're not making that bond with your police department, your local police department. So you want to have somebody on speed dial, right? You want to have somebody that you have their number. Oh, I remember Chris, he came to my iftar dinner. Let me call Chris from law enforcement and see what I can do about this. And then Chris can advise you.
Exactly.
He can help you. He can help you message.
Regardless, small things or big things.
Every small thing we have to report. Any big thing we have to report. But again, as masjids, imams, sheikhs, board members, we have to be able to be honest with ourselves and understand that if we're not bringing law enforcement, we're losing a whole lot of backing.
I like that. Yeah.
You know, we have to understand that the law enforcement officers are there to protect and serve. They're not there for just these people or just those people, or just they're for the community. We all have law enforcement officers in our cities. Grab a hold of somebody from over there. Go on their website and find who the chief is, or find out who the community police department is, and send a quick email. Assalamu alaikum. You know, my name is Brother Muhammad from the Masjid. I would like to invite you guys to our iftar dinner at this date and time. Please come through. And you don't get a response within 2 or 3 days, call, make a couple of phone calls, go over there and knock on their door in the headquarters and say, hey,
insist. Yeah, I like that.
And when you go to there, and this is subhanAllah, I'm just thinking about this because this one of the masjids here did this a couple of years ago. They went to the district office of their local law enforcement and brought a box of sweets to the police officers and said, hey, we want you guys to come through our mosque. We're providing you with these sweets as, you know, a token of our appreciation for everything you do. Please come to our mosque on this day and time. We're having a big dinner.
Opportunity, brother. We are in the middle of Rajab now. 1.5 months Ramadan coming. This beautiful advices. Speak to your masjid and do something to actually protect ourselves.
Absolutely.
Protect ourselves, our kids, our family, our masjid. And beautiful advice, brother. I know the time running. We're gonna speak it still. We're not going to stop about this. We're gonna encourage more, and we're gonna make more ideas, brother Mohammed Ziedeh and Dr. More ideas how to make our masajid, our household, our Muslim community in United States of America, in Europe, whatever, listen to us. May Allah Azza wa Jal guide us to right path, all of us, brothers and sisters, and may Allah protect you all, and God bless you all, my dear brothers and sisters. And inshallah, at the time, we're gonna have no question now, for more than 1 hour. And inshallah, we promise, inshallah, next week we'll continue. May Allah Azza wa Jal guide us to right path. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.